What is going on, guys? MJ2005 Gundam here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Master Grade Gundam Vidar from Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans Season 2. The completed form of the XK based on its test data, it adopted the name of the god that slain Fenrir and serves as the disguise of the Marquis with the Black Steed to covertly exact revenge against McGillis Fareed. After 6 years since the Master Grade Barbatos, the Vidar has come to exact its revenge, with its 19 runners and 2 sticker sheets. The build is highly based on the Master Grade Gundam frame, and while it does have changes to accommodate for the shape of the mobile suits and some quality of life changes, it shares most of the technicalities like the pistons, fingers, and pipes of the preceding iteration. That being said, the rest of the assembly mostly revolves around stacking the armor pieces onto the frame, with nothing being challenging in the part separation or mechanics besides the dark pieces leading to some unsightly nub marks. Thankfully, the gate placement was good for the most part, so not even that should cause a major issue. Overall, despite its involved structure, I think the Master Grade Vidar build is at a perfect level of difficulty to beginners of the grade and veterans alike, and the manual has also separated the build sections into frame and armor, allowing the frame to be built without much of a headache. And here, we can observe the changes made to basically all the body parts, especially for the head, chest, and waist. But if there's one change I love, it's the shoulders, as despite it using C-clips, they point straight up and have a rotation at the base to withstand any awkward movement and prevent breakage. I hope future Master Grade Gundam frames will continue to use this basis instead of the old one. A straight-built Master Grade Gundam Vidar is impeccable in appearance, even though I grew up with the notion that the full mechanics version would have been enough if I were into kits of this scale. The high levels of surface detail imbue this kit with Gyobu's true design language. The proportions are very sharp, and all of the color apps are replicated with plastic pieces, with no missing details that needed filling in. And it's thanks to that, the smaller details like the chest and shoulder trims and the red on front skirts are replicated with separate parts of different elevation, producing a level of visual depth that is absent on the anime material. Not to mention the glints of the pistons and the metallic stickers for enhancing the eyes, rear head sensor, and third AHAB reactor providing some contrast to the otherwise dark body. Speaking of which, while the fastidious perfectionist in me will point out that the AHAB reactor stripe should be in red and the blue looks a bit too purplish, I don't really care, because both of those design liberties further add to the Vidar's sinister aura, and frankly makes the anime design look unintimidating by comparison. Not to mention it being possibly based on Gyobu's detailed art, so the inaccuracies are even more of a non-issue anyways. Granted, nut marks like on the forearms are a tad hard to clean up, and the surface detail would definitely benefit from some panel lining to further exemplify the Gyobu design language, but I'd say that the Master Grade Gundam Vidar can be considered superior to its anime counterpart out of the box. Articulation starts with a fairly unrestricted, double-hinged ball-jointed neck, but be mindful of the large antenna colliding with things. The shoulders can swivel along all axes, while the shoulder armor can flip up and down, rotate front to back, and possess a moving flap to get out of the way of the superb arm raise. The arms can rotate along a peg, there's a bicep swivel, double jointed elbow with piston movement, as well as a rotating hand with 2 knuckle axes, and a ball jointed thumb. The ab crunches are quite flexible with some satisfying piston movement, while the waist can rotate 90 degrees each side. Front and back skirts have 1 joint each, while the side skirts each have 3 joints, and flaring boosters, making way for the central leg drops, and the great splits towards every direction. Meanwhile, the handgun holsters are also slightly maneuverable. There's a thigh swivel, triple jointed knees with some auto-morphing of the thrusters, a movable front booster, a hinged peg jointed ankle with some piston movement, restricted sidewards tilts, and a moving toe accessible after deploying the toe blade. Finally, the backpack boosters are on an extendable double ball joint. While the ankle tilts leave something to be desired, the rest of the articulation is frankly amazing, with all of the joints necessary to make way for poses and the entire structure being solid to handle. However, the different body parts can collide into each other because of the design. Accessories start with the 4 sets of fingers, including fists, open, holding, and trigger finger parts, the last of which is for holding 1 or 2 firearms, starting with the rifle. Beefed up with extra accents, surface detail, and a clear pink scope with the silver sticker underneath, it can be simply pegged into the trigger fingers for a somewhat reliable grip. I say somewhat because the fingers are still quite prone to dislodging if you handle it the wrong way. in which case the rifle can be plugged onto the side skirts in place of using the handguns. True to the anime, they can be tucked up and wedged out for removal and inserted into the trigger fingers for use. Not much to say here besides that they are a pair of very cool handguns that also have a sliding, slide. For melee, the Vidar has the burst saber as its primary weapon. The handle can simply slide into the holding fingers for use, or plug onto the side skirts for storage. Then, the side skirts can be tucked down to unsheath the selected blade for combat, which is a very cool and unique gimmick. Though it will irk me that there will always be one blade missing as there is no 7th blade. You do get 2 more blades in a sense, but those are for depicting the expanded bottom piece when they are perched from the handle, with red stickers to show that they are about to detonate. Lastly, for weapons, there's the Hunter's Edge on the feet. They simply fold out and enable the Vidar to slash enemies using kicks. You'll need an action base to do so, but the kit only provides the action base adapter that is compatible with bases 1, 4, and 5. Speaking of miscellaneous features, there's the opening cockpit hatch, revealing the head of the sitting Vidar figure, and you also get a standing Vidar pilot figure to go with it, with the pose lending further credence to this kit being based on Gyobu's detailed line art. Lastly, there's an alternate seat. That is because versions for the Alaya Vignana Type E on or off are both included. Granted, they are minutely different when you analyze them close up, and you do get black and red stickers for the activated cockpit, but honestly, when are you gonna look down into the cockpit to see that detail in the first place? Leftovers all pertain to the Barbatosis frame, so minus the clear eyepiece, you can revert the frame itself. Not much use beyond that, but at least there are some backups for the Master Grade Barbatos now. Master grades aren't usually my thing because of the price and technicality, but it's one of the most coveted grades for kit releases because of the larger scale allowing for more room to implement mechanics and detail. At points, I have thought of giving into buying the full mechanics Vidar because the high grade just isn't sufficient, which is where the master grade came in, and boy I am impressed. Sure, there are a few finicky spots like the design clashing into itself, but other than that, I really have no complaints for it. No matter the aesthetics, the articulation, or the accessories and gimmicks, all of them, especially the signature features of the Vidar, are well implemented, allowing you to recreate its limited on-screen displays with no hassle, all the while looking far more intimidating than it ever has. If the full mechanics is the high grade we should have gotten, the master grade is that for the 1 to 100 scale. And even though it does not have ice powers and a claymore, this God of Vengeance would absolutely slay on display. And that's all for me. Thank you for watching, drop a like and comment if you did enjoy the video, subscribe for more content like this, and a special thank you to the channel members, credits in the description below. That said, take it easy, stay safe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out guys, bye bye.